Today is Saturday, August 23rd, 2025. And we'll give a minute for others to join. All right, we'll get started in a minute. Those of you that are new to our live stream, we do this every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern till 1 o'clock. There really is no fixed agenda. We'll cover some gun news first, and then we'll open it up to discussions. Now, give it another minute for some more people to join so I don't have to repeat certain things again. If you're new to the live stream, please subscribe to our channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. And we discuss anything that is firearms related. I'm going to start off with, we did have some good Second Amendment news this week. The state of New Mexico, the 10th Circuit Court ruled that their 7-day waiting period to purchase firearms is unconstitutional. I'm really hoping that there's a framework there so that other states join. And Ozzy, welcome. And same thing with Dermot Kennedy. So anyway, the 10th Circuit Court in New Mexico ruled that the 7-day waiting period is unconstitutional. This is why we need to fight to get this stuff on the federal level. It is just ridiculous that we have Second Amendment rights, and then you have liberal states like New Mexico imposing a 7-day wait to purchase firearms. Now, if you have a restraining order on someone, you're going to tell them, come back in 7 days? If you're out on the street and you get attacked by an assailant, you're going to tell them to come back in 7 days when you can buy your firearm? It's just ridiculous, and this is why we need to constantly fight and get this stuff into the Supreme Court and make it a federal law so that each liberal state can't do the stupid things that they do. And La Real Natasha, hello to you as well. Thank you all for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. I know there's a lot of other things you guys can do on your weekend, so I appreciate the fact that you're spending your time with us. We enjoy doing this every week, and a lot of the viewers do as well because we have some good firearm discussions. And Josh Mary, you had to wait 3 days. Yeah, that's kind of really messed up. I mean, I'm fortunate. I live in the great state of Tennessee. We don't need a permit or anything to purchase a firearm. You just go to the store, you pay the guy, they run the background check in about 5 seconds. That goes through the tick system. I don't understand how a state can get away with just making up their own stupid rules for waiting periods. I mean, our Second Amendment rights are absolute. There shouldn't be a waiting period. And hello, brother Adrian. And I just don't understand how New Mexico even got away with that 7-day waiting period to begin with. Um, the whole reason people purchase firearms is for self-defense, right? I mean, like I said earlier, what if you had a restraining order against someone? In 7 days, you could be dead, or you're out on the street and you get attacked. You're going to tell them to come back and attack you 7 days from now when you have when you can purchase your firearm? It's just ridiculous. Next thing I want to talk about is the Ruger RXM. I have one. It's a great firearm, and it's a great price at $360. Now, I don't know if it's me, but when I go to these gun forums and I see people buying the Ruger RXM and then spending $300 or $400 on a grip module and another $200-300 on a slide and a trigger, it's like, so these people go out and they buy a $360 gun and they put $500 or $600 into it. I just don't see the point. I mean, if you're going to buy a $360 gun and put $500 or $600 into it, why don't you just go buy a better gun to begin with? Maybe it's me. I just don't understand why you would buy a cheap gun and spending all that money to upgrade it. I mean, I think out of the box, the Ruger RXM is a fantastic quality firearm. And I could understand buying the Ruger RXM and then buying the Magpul grip module for $39. But honestly, it must be me. I mean, I get making things personal and making it the way you want. And Juicy UFC, hello to you too. Thanks for joining us. I'd like to know you guys' thoughts on it. I mean, maybe I'm just old school, but I think that the whole point of buying a good quality gun and spending $500 or $600 is just ridiculous. But people are doing it. I mean, every time I go to a gun forum, it's like a competition to see who could spend more money on a cheap gun. And it's like everybody wants to be the cool kid in town. Yeah, I agree, Josh. They just want to be the cool kid on the block. But, I mean, for the money that they spend upgrading the gun, they could buy another one, right? Or they could buy a better quality gun. I'm just not getting a $300 or $400 grip module. I'm sorry. But, again, I digressed. So a week or so ago, I bought the Springfield Emissary 1911 in 45 ACP. And that is an awesome gun. I just did the review on it if you guys want to check that out. I'm very happy with it. That gun was almost $1,400, and my local gun store had it on sale for $699, so I couldn't pass it up. But it is bad looking. That is not your father's 1911. It's a real tactical looking gun. I love the 1911. And Josh, yes, the Colt. I got to tell you, I have the Colt government model Competition Plus in 45 ACP. That was $1,200 and something, and they had it on sale Christmas time, and I got it for $999. That is an awesome gun. I love it. But I got to tell you, that Springfield Emissary for $699, comes with a tritium night sight. That may be my new favorite carry gun. Adrian, I got to tell you, my favorite red dot optic, hands down for the money, are the Zalissi optics. I've done a lot of reviews on the Zalissi. Check them out. I put them up against my Hollow Sun any day. And the Zalissi optics are $150. And I run them on my 10 millimeters. I have a Zalissi optic on my SIG X10, and I put thousands of rounds through it, and it's still holding zero. It hasn't broken. I think the Hollow Sun is overrated because it's a bigger name. But if you check out the Zalissi optics, they make them for almost every footprint, and I run them on almost every gun I have. I have them on my Springfield Echelon. I have it on my SIG X10. I have it on my Ruger RXM. The only gun that I have with a Hollow Sun is my Springfield Hellcat Pro. But I got to tell you, if I would have found the Zalissi optics before the Hollow Sun, I would have bought it. No, it's Zulisy, Zulisy. Check out my reviews. I've recently reviewed them. I reviewed almost every one. Ruben, my opinion on the TSUS. TSUS makes a good quality gun. Probably around the same quality as a Rock Island, but it is a lower end gun, and I have a TSUS. It's okay, but if it were me and I had to do it again, I would save the extra money. I mean, I bought a Ruger SR 1911 with the aluminum frame for probably $500 and change. I mean, I know you can get the TSUS for $300, but honestly, for another $200 more, the quality is worlds apart. So my opinion to you, especially if you're new to 1911s, I would spend the extra money and get something a little bit better, because you'll find that, unlike the Glocks that are kind of sloppy, which is why they feed everything, 1911s are much more precision engineered, and they're very finicky with ammo and magazines. So if possible, I would avoid the low priced 1911s. Again, thank you all for joining us. We do this live stream every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern, and this is where we get to share information like we're doing now, and tell each other our likes and dislikes on firearms. I just got a bunch of stuff to review today. It was about 2 years ago. I did a review on Strikeman, and it sucked. And they contacted me the other day and told me they were disappointed in the review I gave them 2 years ago, and that Strikeman has recently been purchased by a new company, and they just upgraded the product. So they asked me if I would give them another chance. So they just sent me the Strikeman Marksman product. So I did not open it and review it yet, but I'll be reviewing that very soon. James Lally, welcome to the live stream. First of all of the red dots, except for Trijicon and a few others, are all made in China. Hollow Sun is one of the most popular red dots out there. Hollow Sun is made in China too. So as far as that goes, Adrian, uh, the only thing I added to my Ruger RXM is I put the Hogue grip on it because I just like it. And I did put a red dot on it. But other than that, I'm perfectly happy with the RXM right out of the box. I like the trigger. I like everything about it. Now, when Magpul finally comes out with their full size and subcompact grip, for some of them, I may try it, but I'd get the Magpul for $39.99. I would not spend $300 or $400. I'm trying to read through these comments real quick. Jabba 809. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of Sig Sauer red dots. I do not like the Romeo. On my Sig P320, I'm running a Zalissi optic on that. So, no, I'm not a fan of the Sig Romeo. I don't understand your comment there, Ruben. Where are you drawing blood from? Are you getting hammer bite or is it from loading the magazines? And I'm glad you guys are asking a lot of questions. When we first started doing this, people were very reluctant. Hammer bite. Okay. Maybe you're just gripping it too high. I mean, I used to get hammer bite on my Glocks until I learned how to grip it properly. But I haven't gotten hammer bite on any of my guns in years. The only one I did get hammer bite on is I had a TSAS 1911 that did not have a rounded trigger. And that used to get me every once in a while. But it's all about the grip. I mean, if you're gripping the gun properly, you shouldn't get hammer bite. But I love the fact that you guys are asking questions now. When we first started doing this, people were a little reluctant. And, you know, like I always say, everybody doesn't know everything, but we all know something. Some people had good and bad experiences with the same products. So it's good to know what works and what doesn't work. I also got a package today from Klinger Holsters with a bunch of stuff in it that I didn't get to review yet. So I look forward to reviewing that. Again, I just did the review on that Springfield Emissary. Check that thing out. I will be doing a thorough review on the new Strikeman Marksman. So it'll probably take a week or two before I actually do the full review because I want to beat it up pretty good before I give my thoughts on that. And Sarita Morales, welcome. Glad you could join us. Mike M, hello. Welcome everyone to our channel. Some of you guys are new to the stream. We do have a lot of the same people that join every week, which we love, but we're also glad that we get new people. This is a great place to share information and ask questions. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. Subscribing our channel helps us get revenue, and that's what we use to purchase the firearms to review for you guys. Ruben, you never really hear anything good about Kimber. Okay, I'll give you my thoughts. Obviously, Kimber must make some good quality guns, right? Or they wouldn't still be in business. But I always wanted to get a Kimber 1911. And a couple years ago, I bought the Kimber Custom 2 1911. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was two-tone blued and stainless. And I think I had it about 2 weeks, and I couldn't stand it. That Custom 2 jammed every fifth round. And um, I tried different kinds of ammo. And I'm originally from New Jersey, so I'm very impatient. Um, but, maybe it just needed a longer break-in period, but I didn't have the patience to wait. So I traded in my Kimber Custom 2, and I wound up buying the Colt government competition model and never looked back. But in the gun forums that I belong to, I did have a lot of people bitch about the Kimbers, but it's like the Glock. You either love them or you hate them. I just am not a fan of the Kimber, but that's me. A lot of people had good experiences. I just did not. And I appreciate that, Jabba to 809. I try my best to provide the best content I can. And Franco 101, can't go wrong with any Springfield 45. Springfield makes very good quality products. The only Springfields I'm not a fan of are the XD. The XD series is just not Springfield's best quality guns. And Joe Sheets, I know that very well, brother. I live in the great state of Tennessee now. I fled New Jersey 7 years ago because we couldn't take it anymore. They took our gun rights away, and Governor Murphy destroyed that state. My wife and I lived there our whole life. It was a great place to live in growing up until the liberals destroyed it. And we moved to Tennessee 7 years ago. Never looked back. This is my home now. The gun laws here are awesome. I mean, we pretty much don't even have gun laws anymore. You can open or conceal carry now without a permit. Western Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania used to be a very good, very gun-friendly state. Not so much now, though. Joe Sheets, I remember when I was a kid living in New Jersey, used to be able to go to the local hardware store and buy a 22 rifle and ammo. Used to be able to go to Sears and buy guns. My dad used to have a carry permit when I was a kid. And then all of a sudden, the liberals took over and they took the carry permits away. While we were still living in New Jersey, one of the last straws was when Governor Murphy, in the middle of the night with the swipe of a pen, made everything over 10 rounds high capacity. And I got a letter from my local police department saying that if I didn't surrender my high capacity magazines, I would become a Class E felon. They could take my firearms away, and that was one of the last straws. Another thing I like to talk to you guys about, because again, I'm old school, maybe it's just me. When I go to gun forums, I notice people with these big ass weapon lights that are like this, and they stick out past the barrel 4 or 5 inches. It's just ridiculous. I just don't understand why you would do that. I mean, I don't know. Besides the fact that it looks stupid, I just don't understand the logic of having a weapon light. I mean, why would you point a loaded firearm at someone just to turn the light on? It just doesn't make any sense. But again, I'm old school. That's just me. I carry a damn flashlight, and you're walking in a dark alley and you hear a noise and you're going to point a loaded firearm and find out that it's old people and you give them a heart attack. I'm just not seeing it. But again, I'm old school. I'm set in my ways. Whatever makes them happy. All right, guys, this is where we open it up to you guys. Ask your questions, leave comments about what firearms you like and don't like, and share your thoughts with others because, we don't always have the same uh, experiences with firearms or accessories. Sometimes we get one, we like them, sometimes we don't. I have a lot of guns that I like that some people don't. Mm, I'm just not a fan of the lasers, personally. I mean, you don't want to blind someone that's not a threat. I agree with you, Ruben. The Beretta 92 was an awesome gun. Um, I, I, I guess it came down to money. Um, I don't know why the military switched from the Beretta 92 to the SIG. The only thing I can assume is because it was money, because the SIG P320 is not a better gun than the Beretta 92. If they're in your house at any time, James, they're a threat. Uh, and I disagree with you, Sarita. Laser dots do not only work at nighttime. They work in the daytime as well. And I agree with you, Ozzy. I do have tritium night sights on every one of my guns. Yeah, that SIG P320 thing is just political. Came down to money. But I do think that everyone should have night sights on their firearm. Um, a lot of people's logic is that, well, if you could see the subject, you could see your sights. And um, that is not true. Um, Ruben, I'll give it to you in 1 second. And a good example of that is you're in your bedroom, it's pitch black. You're looking down the hall and there's a night light, and you could see the bad guy there, but you can't see your sights. So just because you could see the subject doesn't mean you could see your sights. That is why I have night sights on all of my guns. I missed it. Where? Oh, I apologize if I miss your comments. They scroll so quickly. Ruben, I carry 147 grain personally. Once in a while, I'll use 115, but I like the 147. Um, the 9mm has evolved a lot over the past 10 years. Now that they make 147, you know, uh, it's almost as powerful as the 40. Sarita Morales, I agree. First of all, I would take a 1911 over almost any gun. I mean, out of the box, the 1911 trigger is the best trigger in the world. And even a $300 1911 trigger is better than any striker fired trigger, no matter how much you spend on the gun. I agree with you, Ted. Um, I personally use green dots. I have astigmatism, and I just find that when I look at a red dot, it looks like a jagged ball of yarn, but the green dot works much better for me having astigmatism. So I like the green dots personally. And just to keep a check on time, it is 12:20. We will end this stream at 1 o'clock. For those who just joined, we do this live stream every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern until 1 o'clock. For those who just joined us, I was mentioning earlier, we do have some good Second Amendment news this week. In New Mexico, the 10th Circuit Court did rule that the 7-day waiting period to purchase a firearm in New Mexico is unconstitutional. And I thank God, and I'm hoping that that becomes a model now for all of the other communist liberal states, and sets the groundwork for them because, like I said earlier, this is why we need to fight for our Second Amendment rights on the federal level. Our Second Amendment rights are absolute and they're guaranteed. So why have a 7-day waiting period, right? I mean, you have a restraining order against someone. You're going to tell them to come back in 7 days. You're going to tell your attacker, wait a minute, 7 days from now, I can get my gun to defend myself. It's just stupid. But anyway, it is a huge win. I disagree, Bryce. I highly disagree with that. Even a bad hammer-fired trigger is always going to be better than a striker-fired trigger. And again, in my opinion, that 1911 trigger right out of the box is the best trigger in the world. Even a $300 1911 trigger is better than any of my striker-fired guns, even my expensive ones. I never was a huge fan of striker-fired guns, but, you know, all the guns are coming out now. Almost everything is striker-fired, and they have come a long way. But, again, in my opinion, they'll never be as good as a hammer-fired gun. Well, we all love guns. That's why we're here. I am looking forward to reviewing that Strikeman Marksman product. Like I said, 2 years ago when I reviewed Strikeman, it really sucked. That is a good question. How effective is a red dot in terms of range? It's very effective. If you don't know what the MOA stands for, when you're looking at red dots, you'll see the term MOA, and that stands for minute of angle. So what that means is that 1 inch covers 100 yards, right? So a 3 MOA red dot will cover 3 inches at 100 yards. When you sight in your red dot, the problem with the red dot is if you sight it in at 100 yards, it's not going to sight the same way at 25 yards. So if you're looking to use your red dot for personal defense, I wouldn't set it or zero it in at any more than 25 yards, which is really the recommended value for that. Ted, I'm not arguing. I'm not saying that striker-fired guns suck. I have a lot of them. And again, it's because some of the guns only are available in striker-fired. I mean, would I have loved my Springfield Echelon and my Hellcat and my Savage, etc., to all be hammer-fired? Absolutely, but they're not. So it wouldn't stop me, and it hasn't stopped me from buying a striker-fired gun. I'm just saying that a hammer-fired trigger is just always going to be better. I agree with you, James. 20 yards. if you read the FBI stats, um, the average gunfight is 3 shots fired in 3 seconds in 3 yards. 20 yards is more than enough for defensive carry, and I agree with that. You know, I guess what it comes down to is that the hammer fired guns typically were in metal frame guns, right? And when all of these polymer frame guns came out, they all just started going to the striker fire. Um, and it's fine. They do the job. They do work. Um, but even the Glocks, I mean, the triggers pretty much suck and they're very spongy. But they do what they're supposed to do. They go bang every time. But you take a 1911, even a low quality 1911, it's got about a 4.5 pound trigger pull that's very crisp. And like I said, even a cheap 1911 trigger is better than an $800 striker fired gun. It just the way it is. No, you cannot, Ozzy. I made that mistake a few months ago, and I wasn't aware of that. I mean, I try to follow the YouTube guidelines, and I was showing a firearm, and all of a sudden my stream ended, and I got a warning. You are not allowed to hold, show, or display a firearm on a live stream. The first time they will give you a warning. The second time they may just kill your channel. Yep, you can't go wrong with the CZs. I love the CZ Shadow. CZ is an awesome gun. They're a great company, and they bought Colt. So, the past few years before CZ bought Colt, the quality was starting to deteriorate. And, now that CZ bought them, the quality is back up to what it used to be. So I like the CZ as well. What I'm really waiting for, I would really hope that CZ makes a 10 millimeter. I mean, I'm a huge 10 millimeter fan. I love the 45 as well, hence Pro Gun 45. But I'd really love to see CZ make a 10 millimeter now that 10 millimeter is making such a huge comeback. I mean, almost everybody now is making 10 millimeter, considering, 10 years ago it was almost on the way of being extinct. Yeah, I don't know why anybody that's a gun enthusiast would live in California. They have the worst gun laws. Ben Warner, hello to you. Thanks for joining our stream. We do this every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern until 1 o'clock. Next weekend is Labor Day weekend, so I do not know if I will be doing a stream. Ozzy, I have a 1911 and a 10 millimeter as well. I have the Springfield Ronin 10 millimeter, and it's awesome. It's one of my favorites. Yes, CZ are amazing handguns. They're great. And CZ's a good company. I mean, they bought Dan Wesson. I guess it depends on where you live, Ted. Out here in Tennessee, 10 millimeter is very, very popular again. And that is why everybody's making a 10 millimeter. Christ, even Taurus now has a 10 millimeter. Yeah, sadly, the 357 SIG is pretty much dead. I mean, even Sig Sauer doesn't make the 357 SIG anymore. So it's impossible to find 357 SIG ammo. But I did like that cartridge. It was almost like having a 357 Magnum in a semi-automatic, and it's too bad that it just. I guess because 10 millimeter um, has got more power, it kind of pushed the 357 SIGs out of the way. Yeah, Troy, modularity is part of it, but mainly it came down to cost, right? I mean, Glock used to give away their guns to law enforcement. SIG just undercut them. It doesn't mean that the SIG is a better gun than the Beretta um, just because they won the military contract. It is not a better gun than the Beretta 92. And, that SIG contract was like a 10-year, $4 billion contract. And Ben Warner, no, I did not serve. Yeah, Ruben, the 38 Super. Yeah, I mean, they have 1911s chambered in 38 Super, but it's almost impossible to find ammo. And I answered your question, Ben. I did not serve. So I guess, you'd have to reload your own ammo if you're a fan of the 38 Super. I'm not that familiar with the California compliance because um, there's not. I don't know. They just don't allow so many different things, and uh, I don't ever see them changing. Um, I live in the great state of Tennessee. We don't have any compliance issues here. And no, California gun laws will never change. That's why I don't understand why in California you can buy a Glock 19 Gen 3, but you can't buy a Glock 19 Gen 5, even though the Glock 19 Gen 5 has got the same capacity. It's almost impossible to get a new firearm listed on that California compliant list. So, yes, that is easier said than done. I agree. And thank you, Ben, for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Um, our channel has really exploded in the past year. Um, in January, we only had 1,000 subscribers, and we're up to almost 7,000 now, and probably going to hit 10,000 by the end of the year, and that's all due to you guys, so we appreciate that. Jibita 809, is 10 millimeters similar to 45 plus in ballistics and felt recoil? Okay. To be honest with you, I don't find the 10 millimeter recoil that bad. I personally think that the 45 has got more recoil than the 10. That's just my opinion. And Brian, we're having a good day today too. I hope you are as well. But I reload my own ammo for 10 millimeter, 45, and 357. 9 millimeter is so cheap now. Almost any day of the week, I could go to my Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo and right down the street, and I could buy 9 millimeter ammo for $9.99 a box. So when you add up the powder and the primers and the bullets, it's actually cheaper to just buy 9 millimeter. 45 ACP and 10 millimeter, that's another story. And availability. There was a time when I would go to the local gun stores and months would go by and they didn't have 10 millimeter or 45 on the shelf. So reloading is not really about saving money. It's really about availability. Um, you don't build the ark after it starts raining, right? So I always make sure I have a shitload of ammo. I have probably 50,000 rounds of ammo on my workbench. And to answer your question, Ben, we do this live stream every Saturday afternoon at 12 noon Eastern till 1 o'clock. We may not do it next weekend because it's Labor Day weekend. But other than a holiday weekend, it is every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern till 1 o'clock. Yeah, I would take the 45 over 9 millimeter any day, only because a bigger hole, bigger wound. As far as damage goes, though, as much as I like the 45, I mean, 10 millimeter penetrates deeper. It's going to cause more damage to vital organs than the 45 will. The thing about the 45 is because the hole is so big, you're going to bleed out faster. You'll probably die from bleeding out before you're going to die from the actual damage to the organs. And I agree with you, Sadi Knowledge. Everybody should be trained. Our governor 2 years ago signed a bill where you no longer need training or permit to carry in Tennessee. Now, when I first moved here and I got my enhanced carry permit, I had to take an 8-hour class and I had to qualify with my firearm to get a permit. Now, you don't need anything. So you have all of these coconuts now buying a gun online or going to a Rural King or whatever, buying a gun and putting it on their hip like it's going to magically protect them. And as a firearms instructor, I got to tell you, the amount of firearms training has like dwindled. Nobody in Tennessee now gets firearms training. They just buy a gun and carry it. I guess if I had to choose, I'd rather have less government restrictions than more. But, if the guy next to me is carrying a gun, I want to know that he's competent and qualified. I just think every gun owner should have firearms training, regardless of whether it's required or not in your state to carry. I just can't stress it enough how important it is. I mean, you go to the range without training, and all you're going to do is pick up bad habits, especially if you have your friends teach you, because now you're going to pick up their bad habits. Yep, I agree, Sarita. You can't go wrong with a 45. I preach it all the time, Ben, but people don't listen. The best AK, I don't own any AKs, so I can't really speak on that. Maybe some others out here can. Not that I think there's anything wrong with it. I'm not really a long gun person, even though I have some. I just don't own an AK because I just never thought about it. Yeah, that's, you know, the problem with these liberal states that have such ridiculous requirements in order to get a carry permit is that they're just not getting that the bad guys are going to be carrying because they don't listen to gun laws. This is my biggest pet peeve with the liberal states is that um, the bad guys are going to have their high capacity magazines. The bad guys are going to carry, um, and yet you're imposing more and more restrictions on the law abiding citizens. And Chris from Georgia, funny you should ask that. We had a discussion earlier about the Ruger RXM. And I'm going to tell you my opinion because I own a lot of guns, including Glocks. For the money, the Ruger RXM is hands down the best Glock clone on the market. You can get it now for about $360. I'm not going to get rid of any of my Glocks, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. If I never owned a Glock, I would buy the RXM before the Glock any day. For $360, the Ruger RXM has a better trigger. It's got a better sight system. It's got a front tritium night sight. It's got a flared magwell. The grip module is made by Magpul. It's optic ready. It's got many more features than the Glock for almost half the price. Again, if someone were to ask me now, I would tell them to save the money that they would spend on the Glock and buy the Ruger RXM. That SIG P226 is a great gun. I'm just being perfectly honest about the RXM. I was a little skeptical when I bought it, $360 gun versus a $600 Glock. But then, it occurred to me with some people, Glock is like a cult, right? Glock could turn out a piece of shit and people are still going to buy it, right? And I really was a little hesitant, but I shot them side by side. And I got to tell you, the Ruger RXM shoots at least as good as the Glock. And the other pet peeve of mine that the Glock has is that if you want to add an optic to a Glock, now you have to buy a Gen 5 and you have to buy the MOS version and spend $150 more just to put a red dot on. Any gun that's being sold as a defensive gun should be optic ready right out of the box. And, the Ruger RXM for that price is optic ready. I put a RMSC red dot on it without any optic plate, etc. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm trying to get through these comments, and if I miss your comments, I apologize. They scroll through so fast, so I'm trying to get to as many as I can. And again, I just want to emphasize, I don't hate Glock, and I have a lot of them, and I'll never get rid of any of them. I'm just saying that if I were new to buying guns, I would go with the RXM first. And Ben, no, I cannot show any guns because you're not allowed to show guns during a live stream. Okay, the Turkish guns. I just saw that message. Yes, Canik is a very good quality gun. I have the Canik SC Elite. And for the money, it's a very good quality gun. It's almost a clone of the Walther. I like that a lot. Jebediah 809. If you're talking about the RXM, depending on the optic, it is a direct fit, or you can purchase a plate. It all depends on what the optic footprint is. But back to the Canik. The Canik looks a lot like the Walther. Turkey makes a lot of great quality guns. I mean, I have a Panzer Arms AR-12 shotgun that's made in Turkey. It's, you know, they make good quality guns, no doubt about it. Foulman, I do not take any chances. I don't even have a firearm anywhere near me because I displayed a firearm 6 months ago on a live stream, and they killed my live stream. They punished me for 90 days and told me that next time I do that, they will terminate my channel. So I will not do that again. Foulman, thank you for the comments. I really appreciate that. Some people do flame us, but for the most part, we do get positive feedback, and I appreciate that from all of you guys. Like I said, in January, we had 1,000 subscribers, and we'll probably hit 10,000 by the end of the year. So that's all to you guys. If you're new to joining this stream today, you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. If you have subscribed to the channel, turn on notifications. Watch as many of our videos as you can. The more our videos are watched, liked, shared, and commented on, the more monetization we get. And we use that monetization to purchase the firearms and accessories to review for you guys. So thank you all for that. And thank you for subscribing. I just saw that message. I believe that was Georgia. Thank you. Again, I apologize. These comments scroll by so quickly, I just can't see them all. So if I don't acknowledge you, it's not that it's not intentional. It's because I just missed it. And extraterrestrial, I don't know what that means. I don't understand what a bad mount site is. And thank you, Sadie Knowledge. Same to you as well. Thank you, Ben. I definitely appreciate that. And thank all you guys. You know, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. And that's why we do this. We do this because I started doing it once just to see if people would like it. And people look forward to doing this every week. So we do this every week for you guys. This is how we can exchange information and share information and knowledge with each other. So, Ruben, to answer your question, before CZ bought Colt, the quality definitely went downhill, right? But quality has definitely improved since CZ bought them. After CZ bought Colt, I bought my Colt Government Competition Plus 1911. It's awesome. I bought my Colt Python a few months ago. I bought the Colt Python Combat Elite. That is also awesome. CZ is a great company. They own Colt. They own Dan Wesson and a lot of others. So I don't agree Colt is going downhill. If anything, the quality is going to be even better. Mike M., that's a good question. It gets harder and harder for me to find the gun I want. I do still want a lever action 357 Magnum rifle. So I guess that will be my next toy. I'm kind of up in the air between the Henry and the Marlin, but it will definitely be one of those. Rasmus, I do not shoot precision shooting. I only train for defensive shooting. That's all I care about. Um, People like to shoot competition. They like to, have pretty targets. All I care about is defensive shooting. Yeah, the 6.5 Creedmoor is also very good. Um, the only reason I want the 357 lever action is because um, I have a lot of 357 revolvers, and I have a boatload of 357 Magnum ammo that I reloaded. I probably got 50,000 rounds of 357 on my workbench, so um, I don't want to have to go out and buy ammo. And I like the fact that when I go to the range, I could bring my revolver and rifle and use the same ammo. So today was a great stream, and thanks to all of you for getting these conversations going. I mean, we really shared a lot of information today, which is the whole purpose of doing that. Just to do a time check here, it is 12:53. We will be ending this at 1 o'clock like we always do. And thanks, Ted. I appreciate that. Don't forget to join us. We do this every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern until 1 o'clock. I don't know whether I will be doing one next weekend. I may not do one next weekend because it is a holiday weekend and we have guests from out of state coming. But turn on your notifications because I will post it in the messages on the channel on when the next one will be. If I don't do it next weekend, though, the week after that, we will be back on our normal, regular weekly schedule from 12 noon Eastern until 1 o'clock. Yeah, that Taurus 605 is a great gun. I like that a lot. I personally reloaded all my 357s with 185 grain. And Ruben, thank you, brother. We love you too. I'm glad you enjoy this. I love interacting with you guys and sharing knowledge and information. It's just a lot of fun, and you guys make this very enjoyable for me. It's a hobby I love to do, and I just love spending time with you guys every Saturday, and I really look forward to it. All right, we got 5 minutes left, so make sure you feel free to leave your comments now. Ask any last minute questions before you get cut off in midstream. Oh, Chris, trust me, it is well worth $375. It is, in my opinion, it shoots at least as good as my Glock 19. You won't regret it. Look at, buy a gun, grabagun.com or Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo. I've seen them for as low as $360. And you definitely won't be disappointed. Like I said earlier, if someone is new to guns now, I would recommend the RXM before I would recommend the Glock. And it's good talking to you too, Sarita. Thank you for your contributions. I appreciate all of you guys that are asking questions and helping answer back and forth. that is the whole point of this, is to share information. And I love that we do that here. We're a small channel, but if you notice, the big channels don't do that. And I really value the relationship I have with my subscribers and viewers. I think it's really special that we can do this. A lot of the big channels forgot how they got there, and we got there because of you guys. So we do this for you. This is your live stream. So thank each and every one of you. And you're welcome, Ben. I'm glad to give the advice. I'm old. I have over 40 years, 45 years experience with firearms. So I'm always happy to share my experience and advice with as many people as I can. So I just find this very enjoyable. And, we all didn't wake up with the knowledge we have, right? It took years and years of trial and error and learning and experience. So I love to just pass it on to people. So, and 2-minute warning. So if you're talking about me, Byron, yes, I am American. I don't know what nationality has to do with it. Ozzy, I'm 65. I'll be 66 in November. So I've been around the block a few times too. All right, guys, this is the 2-minute warning. It is 12:58. We'll be ending this at 1 o'clock. Again, thank each and every one of you. People that haven't joined our stream before, I'm glad you caught it today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And Chris from Georgia, you too, brother. Glad to have you here. Thank you for being a subscriber. Hope to catch you again. And I appreciate that, Sarita Morales. And no, I am not Irish. I'm Italian. Not that that has anything to do with anything. I'm trying to get to your question, John. What do I think are better for a new handgun shooter who's 59 years old? I'll be honest with you, I'm old school. I would always go with iron. If you add a red dot, my advice is to make sure that you learn how to shoot with irons first. A red dot has got a bit of a learning curve, especially if you're older. I would definitely go with the irons because if you rely on that red dot and it fails, now what? Right? You need to be able to shoot with the irons first. And also, I found, I'm old, and when I first started shooting with a red dot, it was quite a bit of a learning curve. It was like the cat chasing the laser pointer. So I agree, Brian. Practice, practice, practice. Get training, get training, get training. Even though, you go to the range and you think you're shooting good, if you haven't taken a formal class, I would highly recommend everybody take the NRA basic pistol class. And yes, I do shoot shotguns, only for defensive purposes. I do practice them for defense. I have a Mossberg 500 Persuader, so that is my shotgun I use for personal training. And again, I only train for personal defense. I don't give a rat's ass how pretty my target looks. All I care about is what my group is. And if it came to a defensive situation, whether it could get the job done, that's my main priority. All right, it is 1 o'clock p.m. We are going to end this stream now. Yes, Ozzy, that is a good point. Make sure you can co-witness your sights if you have a red dot. So if the dot fails, you can still use your iron. All right, guys, time is up. Thank you again. Love you all. Catch you next time.